Hello, lovely children. Welcome to our primary cultural lesson. This week we are going to be learning all about the different clouds. So, did you know that there are different kinds of clouds and you can use them by looking at them to help you kind of guess what the weather might do that day? So, we're going to look at two clouds each day this week. We're going to make cards of each one and label them, and at the end of the week we will put them together as a book as kind of a reference that you can use when you're outside watching clouds. So before we get started, let's gather our materials. So you will need a blank piece of paper, just one from your cultural folder. You will need a pair of scissors, a writing utensil such as a pencil, a pen, a black colored pencil or marker. Now, I'm going to show you two different ways that you can make these cards depending on what you have. So you might have just your crayons at home, and that's perfect. So go ahead and get your crayons out also. I'm also going to make these cards with watercolors. So if you have watercolors at home, I would encourage you to use those. And what you're going to need for today's lesson, if you will be doing the watercolor version, are your watercolors and your paintbrush, a bowl of clean, fresh water, a small paper towel, a piece of toilet paper or old cloth for cleaning your brush. And no matter which way you're going to do your cards today with the crayons or the watercolors, get out something to protect the surface you're working on. So I have a placemat. Maybe you have a placemat at home or some newspaper. You could lay down some old paper, maybe from a craft or cardboard. Just something you can put down to protect the surface you're working on. So go ahead and pause your screen and go and get your materials ready and then come back. All right, welcome back. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do before we get started learning about our clouds is we're going to prepare our card paper. So take your clean piece of paper and fold it in half. And then make the crease on it like we've done on the other lessons. So it should look like this. We're going to open it up and cut right along that crease we made. Okay, now you have two cards. We're going to set those aside while we talk about our first cloud. So the first cloud we're going to look at today is called a cumulus cloud. Now a cumulus cloud is kind of the big puffy white cloud that I think of when I think of a perfect cloud, if that makes sense to you. Maybe a perfect cloud is something different to you. But a cumulus cloud forms in the lower sky where air is warm. Cumulus clouds are made of water droplets. Cumulus clouds appear white and form heaps or lumps. Cumulus clouds most often form when the morning sun heats the earth. Cumulus clouds rarely produce rain, but they can develop into a rain cloud, which we'll talk about later. So take a good look at your cumulus cloud, and maybe you would like to go ahead and pause your screen here and either draw or watercolor. I'm also going to work through watercoloring and drawing one of these clouds with you. Okay, so I'm going to set this cloud, the Cumulus Cloud card, down so I can see it. And I'm going to watercolor one right here so that you can see what's in my mind as we do this lesson. Okay, so I'm mostly going to work with my color to do the blue sky around this big cumulus cloud. Okay, so maybe I'll prop it up here so that we can both see it. Good. Okay, I'm going to get my paintbrush nice and wet with my water. Then I'm going to add some of that water to my blue watercolor tablet. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of trace out a shape with my watercolor of my big puffy cumulus cloud. They're very puffy clouds, aren't they? So let's see. So this is how I have mine so far. You see how I just made an outline with blue? Because it's kind of hard to paint white on a white paper. So after I have made an outline with the blue, I can go back. I'm going to add some more water to my paint. I can go back and then I can color in the sky with the blue, leaving my white puffy cumulus cloud in the middle. Might have to add a little more water while I'm watercoloring. Okay, so here I am about halfway through. I want you to be able to see it as we work on it together. It's not perfect, but it's going to help me remember that a cumulus cloud is big and puffy and white. So I'm going to just finish watercoloring in on the bottom. Now you're going to do yours however makes you happiest. But I am not going to add in the tree and the ground on mine. I'm not going to do that. But you can if you want to. I'm just going to do a nice blue sky around it. Okay. Let's see if I'm happy with this. I think I am. So I will clean off my brush in the water and wipe it on my paper towel. Replace it. Okay, so this is what I have for my cumulus cloud that I watercolored. I'm going to let my paper dry, and then I'm going to write Cumulus Clouds on the bottom of my card. All right, so if you are going to draw yours with crayons, let's work through that one together too. Oh, so I'll put my card back. I'm going to get into my packet of crayons and find a blue pencil. I've used that blue a lot when we did our landforms. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do the same thing that I did with the watercoloring, and I'm going to just draw a shape of a cloud with the blue, and then I'll color around the side of it. So let's see. I'm going to do my nice puffy cumulus cloud in blue. All right, so this is what I have for my crayon drawn cumulus cloud. Now I'm going to just color in blue around the edges of it to keep that nice big and puffy white cumulus cloud in the middle. Okay, I'm about halfway through, and I'll show you how mine looks. Okay, see, I'm just coloring around it, just like we did with the watercolor. And the same thing, as when we were watercoloring, you're going to do yours however you like best, but I'm just going to do the blue sky around my clouds. I'm not going to draw any trees or anything like that on mine. I'm just going to focus on this big puffy cumulus cloud. Okay, I'm finished with that, I think. I'm happy with it. So I'm going to put my my crayon back into the box. Okay, and here's what I have. I'm going to go ahead and label this because it doesn't need to dry. because it's crayon. So I'm going to write Cumulus Clouds at the bottom. Okay, Cumulus Clouds. Awesome, so I'm gonna set this one aside and save it for later. My watercolored one is pretty dry, so I'll go ahead and write Cumulus Clouds on this one too. Okay. Cumulus Clouds. So I'm going to go ahead and set it aside. Great, so we learned about our cumulus cloud, which is big and puffy and white, and it doesn't make rain. It comes out in the morning most of the time when the earth starts to get warm. So now we're going to look at another type of cloud, a stratus cloud. So let's look at them together for comparison. Our cumulus and our stratus. Do you see that they're different? What is different about this stratus cloud? Do you see? The stratus clouds form in the lower sky where the air is warm. Stratus clouds are made of water droplets. Stratus clouds appear gray and layered with a flat base. Stratus clouds produce light rain or light snow. So, a stratus cloud you might see in the sky on a day when you know it's going to rain just a little bit, but maybe not a big thunderstorm. So stratus clouds are gray. They're not quite as puffy as that cumulus cloud. And I noticed there are a lot more of these. They're kind of all stretched out across the sky together. That's the stratus cloud. So if you want to go ahead and pause your screen here so that you can get a really good look at this stratus cloud, go and watercolor or draw your stratus clouds. Okay, welcome back. So let's go ahead and I'm going to watercolor one of them so that you can see how I'm going to do it, because it's going to be a little more color on this one. So again, I think that I will do my blue outline of some clouds first. So I'm going to get some water. And I'm going to get my blue watercolor nice and wet. Okay, I'm ready. So there's just a little bit of space in between these clouds. And I remember that it said that they usually have a flat base. So I'm going to try to kind of do that too. Make it flat on the bottom of each cloud. Okay, so I'm going to show you where I am right now. I just made some cloud shapes so I can go back through and then I'll do the background blue and then I'll add the gray to my clouds. So I am going to do the blue of my background first because once I get the gray, I know that it is going to stay on my brush a little bit more and I don't want it to be gray where I don't want it to be gray. So I'm going to do the blue of my background, the places where there aren't any clouds, so you can tell it's a nice sky scene. You might need to add more water at this point to your blue. I had to. Cloud in right there. Okay. Okay, so I've done the background and I have my cloud shapes left. But remember, stratus clouds are often gray because they're going to make some rain. And we know that rain clouds are usually gray looking. So I'm going to clean my brush really well in the water, wipe it on my paper towel, and now I'm going to use some black with lots of water mixed in it to make a gray. So I'm going to get my brush wet, and I'm going to add a lot of water to this black watercolor today. Really good and wet. Okay. I'm going to get good and wet. And now I'm going to go, I'm going to add some gray onto my clouds. I'm going to start on the bottom of each cloud and give them a nice gray base before I go and fill them in with some light gray. Okay, I'm not quite done with this, but I want to show you how I'm doing it. Uh-oh. Okay, so you see I did the bottom of my clouds kind of gray, and then maybe wrapped it up a little bit, because I noticed, I'm going to show you the picture again. On our Stratus Cloud pictures, the tops of them are still pretty white. It's just that flat bottom that's really gray. So I'm going to finish up this last one. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So I'm going to clean my paintbrush up. I'll show you my Stratus Clouds, or my low rain clouds. I'm going to set those over here to dry. Now, I would show you how to draw a Stratus Cloud with our crayons, but I've lost my black crayon and I don't know where it is, so it would be really hard for me to do this particular cloud with crayons, but I really think that you guys can figure it out, especially after looking at the watercoloring and just where the colors go. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Stratus Cloud back up for you to pause your screen and color or watercolor it. Okay, welcome back. So we just looked at Cumulus Clouds, the big puffy white ones that don't make any rain, and Stratus Clouds, the stretched out kind of gray clouds that do produce rain. So we've learned two different clouds today, and we have made cards of them. So now I'd like to encourage you to go outside and look up in the sky and see if you can see either of those clouds today. If you can't, that's okay, because we have a lot of other kinds of clouds that we're going to learn about. But go ahead and just go outside and look up at the sky. I'll include my video of my exploration of the sky in just a minute, so you can go and look at that link. But we have finished this lesson, so go ahead and clean up all of your painting. If you were painting, clean up your pencils, and then go and look at the sky. All right, thanks for watching.